Hello and welcome to the Potty Mouth Preacher. Healing women's minds, bodies, and souls, one trigger at a time. I am Lisa Czak, your host. On today's episode, we are going to talk about why you should not react emotionally or react at all when somebody is doling out abuse your way. Stay tuned. As always, I'm going to help you shift gears. I know you got a lot of roles and responsibilities you play, and sometimes it's hard to just jump into it. So let me give you this little vacation. You don't have to wait to go on my retreat, which is happening in 2024 in the Caribbean, to get a little vacation. You could have a vacation anytime you want by simply closing your eyes and breathing. Speaking of that retreat, when you join the retreat, you get my twice a month healing group for free. That's right. We heal all your shit, then we celebrate in the Caribbean in 2024. So click the link below if that's something you're interested in doing. It's only $49 a month right now. This is a special I'm having. I'm only offering this to 3 people, so hurry up, click the link, and join us. So close your eyes, take 3 deep cleansing breaths in, and then another one. One more. Don't you just feel your whole body just melting into the chair that you're sitting in or lying down in? Just feels amazing, right? One more deep cleansing breath in. And do a body scan for me. Just check in with your body. See what's going on in your body. Not judging it, just simply being aware. Do you feel tense anywhere? Are you holding on to tension? Check on your jaw, your fists, your stomach. Are your shoulders in your ears? Just simply being aware, starting with the toes all the way to the crown of the head. Notice the temperature of the room on your skin. Notice any noises you hear, either inside or out, or on my end. Elvis is in here. We know Elvis can be a problem. He's my little cockapoo. Notice any tastes in your mouth. Notice any smells in the room. Just noticing your breathing, not trying to make it be any certain way, just simply noticing it. And now name 3 things that you're grateful for, making sure one of those things has not happened yet, but you are certain if it's in your best interest, God and the universe will all conspire to make it happen. And then set your intention for how you want to feel in this experience, after you leave here, knowing what you still have ahead of you, remembering that you and you alone get to decide how you feel. No one else gets to decide that for you, ever. It's you that gets to decide. You are in control of your feelings. Now name your I am statement. Say it 3 times with the energy behind it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to one of our very first episodes where I talk about the power of the I am statement. See yourself being this I am. What is your self-talk being this I am? What are other people saying to you being this I am? Now take another deep breath in and simply allow the love and gratitude and your intention and your I am statement to just flow through your entire body so you carry it with you the rest of the day. Noticing the temperature of the room on your skin again. Noticing any noises you hear either inside or out or on my end. Noticing any taste in your mouth. Notice any smells. Notice how your body feels on the surface that you're sitting on or laying down on. Then slowly open up your eyes. And welcome back to the Potty Mouth Preacher. So let's get on to celebrations. I am celebrating. I actually just got out of my Worthy Woman healing group that I have twice a month, and I am celebrating the women in there and who prompted, the one woman in there actually prompted this whole episode that I'm doing because she's done such great work. She's healed so many things in her life since we started the group. She even said that that was her celebration, that the thing that she found most valuable about the group is that she's healed. She's healed. She actually said healed, like healed, right? And she got a nasty email from work, and instead of emotionally reacting, she didn't do anything. I'm going to talk about more about that in a minute, right? So I am celebrating that the women in there, another woman in there is going through a lot of stuff, right? A lot of stuff is coming up for her. And this theme keeps coming up as I won't be able to heal this. I won't be able to heal this. And she keeps healing, right? She keeps healing what she thinks is impossible. So I'm really proud of her for that. Again, if you want to join, click the link below. It's only $49. 3 spots left, and I'm not offering, this is a very limited time offer because once those 3 spots are going to go super quick, right? And I want to keep the group nice and small so it's intimate and we all get time to share. So let's move on to our real talk. Okay, so this episode was inspired by real events, like everything I do on this podcast, right? Either from my life or my clients' lives. And this episode was inspired because a woman in my Worthy Woman healing group, she came into the group talking about how a really nasty email was sent to her by a coworker. And this coworker has been abusive, right? Demonstrating very abusive behaviors, like outright abusive, right? So verbally. Well, she said verbally, emotionally, and even some physical stuff is happening with this coworker, which is really scary, right? And it's happening over time, of course, right? This isn't like the first email that's sent. So this is what happens. And I know this from my own experience of being in an abusive relationship. Well, he was actually a sexual predator, right? That's a whole nother story that I've been talking about. But he would get very abusive. And it started off very minor though. And that's what happened with this person, this coworker. And she said it was very minor and she kind of let it go. And then it started escalating and escalating and escalating until she got this email. And she got the email and she was like, part of her, the part that wanted to react, right? The part that wanted to like stick it to her and kind of show her an example. All these other people are on the email thread. And part of her wanted to stick it to this woman, right? In the sense of, no, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to show her that you can't talk to people this way. And I'm going to make sure that other people know that also, right? Now, look, I was the PA president of my daughter's Manhattan high school. Okay? Imagine Manhattan parents. Any Manhattan parents out there? Click in comments. I love you, but you all are a little woo, right? Talk about emotional reacting and abusive. One of Harvey Weinstein's lawyers was giving me a hard time as I was PA president. He was literally abusing me, right? Like totally abusing me. I even had to record one of our conversations to send it to the police. I'm not kidding you. And he was bragging about how he was one of Harvey Weinstein's lawyers. So that right there shows you he's not he's not okay in his head, right? If you're bragging that you're one of Harvey Weinstein's lawyers helping him get off, okay, that's a problem. Anyway, so I became famous when I was PA president, for not responding to those because I knew better, right? I knew because I had already been in an abusive situation. I knew it would happen, right? I knew that if I actually responded in any way, right? I don't even mean react. Like if I just responded in any way, it'd be like throwing gasoline on the fire and it would totally escalate, right? Because then there'd be an email chain of all these parents who are not healed, who are emotionally reacting, who are taking their own wounds and spewing them onto each other and me as the PA president, right? That's what happens is we end up spewing. If we don't heal ourselves, we spew our unhealed wounds onto other people. Intentional or not, right? Most people don't even realize they're doing that. During COVID, that's what COVID was all an emotional reaction. It was all people responding with their wounds inside, their emotions taking over and just spewing it onto other people. That's COVID in a nutshell. That's a whole nother episode. Anyway, so the reason you want to do this is because when you have an abusive person, they are master manipulators, okay? They love to push every button inside of you to get you to react. React in a crazy way. React in a way that is completely uncharacteristic for you, right? You might even feel like, I'm losing it. I am losing my mind. What is wrong with me? Why am I reacting like this? Why am I saying these things? Why am I doing these things? And that abuser, that master manipulator, wants to get you to react so that the spotlight now becomes on your reaction to their abuse instead of the spotlight being on their abusive behavior. You see how they do that? Like, I want that to sink in. I had a really hard time with this because I thought I'm justified. It's okay for me to react this way. It's okay for me to swear and curse and throw things and go off on someone who's abusing me. It's okay to do that, right? And I can't help it because I'm being abused. Well, I started diving into the Bible more and I started saying, what does God want me to do in these situations, right? How does God want me to handle this? And turns out God doesn't want that. First of all, God hates abuse, right? He hates abuse. And God does not want me to sin in my anger. And I had a hard time accepting those words, right? I'm getting abused verbally, emotionally, mentally, financially, spiritually, physically, sexually, but I'm not supposed to sin in my abuse because abusers love turning the tables. It's one of the things they're also masters at, right? If you call an abuser out, if you say you're abusive, 10 out of 10 times they will say, you're the one that's abusive because you said this to me and you reacted that way to me and you threw this at me or you did this to me, right? When you were simply reacting to being abused. Are you getting more and more anxious and sad and disappointed as the holidays approach? Maybe you're dealing with toxic family members, an ex-husband. Maybe you're lonely. Maybe you're going through grief this holiday season. If any of these things resonate with you and you want to stop emotionally reacting, especially as the holidays approach, and you want to learn to actually become crystal clear on what it's like to live your life not emotional reacting, instead responding. If you want to uncover ways you might be sabotaging yourself as the holidays approach, and if you want to just feel at peace no matter what is going on in your life, no matter who is in your space this holiday season, then click the link below and join me and other women who are on this same healing journey this holiday season to stop reacting so that we don't look like the crazy one anymore, right? And instead, we feel peace no matter what's going on in our life. We don't allow our feelings to take over. We learn that the storm doesn't have to be inside of us. The storm can be around us, but the storm doesn't have to be inside of us. We meet twice a month, and I'm having a holiday special because this is my gift to you so that you can actually, instead of surviving the holidays, start enjoying the holidays. It's only $49 to meet twice a month, and we start right away. That $49 is going to take you all the way to the beginning of the year. $49 to have peace in your life this holiday season. Merry Christmas, ho ho ho, and remember, you are worth it. So every time you react when you're being abused, you are taking the spotlight off the abuse. You're turning the spotlight on yourself, and so they can say, look at her. Look at how crazy she is. Have you ever noticed, maybe you've dated guys, right? Or you met men who say all their exes were crazy, right? I had that going on when I was being abused by a sexual predator. This is like someone I knew, right? And I knew who he dated in high school. And he was like, they were all crazy bitches. That's how they describe. They're all just crazy fucking bitches. I'm like, what? Every single girl you ever dated, every single girl you have a relationship is a crazy bitch? That's a red flag, right? I'm always talking about red flags on this show and what to look for. That's a red flag, right? If all of their exes are crazy, that's a red flag. Because they're not crazy. I guarantee if you talk to those exes, they're not crazy. They reacted crazy to his abuse. So that I know it's hard though, right? Drop in comments if you've had this experience where you have been abused in some way. You've had someone that's super toxic in your life, just treating you like dirt, right? And you react to it. And then suddenly you're questioning. This is very common in the narcissism world, right? Narcissists love to do this. Narcissists love to say, no, you're the narcissist. I'm not the narcissist. By the way, if you even think you are being abused, if you even think that person is a narcissist, the worst thing you can do is call them out on it. It will lead to more crazy making. Again, I know this from experience, right? I called out. Now, I didn't know I was being sex trafficked. I didn't know that that's what he was setting me up for. I didn't know that he was setting me up for sexual exploitation, for sex trafficking. I didn't know that, right? I thought he was a narcissist because a friend of mine actually, when I called her and I was crying and I said, I'm doing some bad things that I shouldn't be doing, but I think I'm being abused. I just don't really know. I'm so confused. And she sent him a Facebook message saying, what did you do to Lisa Czak? You psychopathic, narcissistic joke of a man. I was like, why did she choose those specific words? Why did she say narcissistic, psychopathic? Right? Why did she use those words? And this is all in my book, Portal Tears. Back there you see it. It's on Amazon. Go ahead and click the link to order my book to hear more about my story, about how I got in the best shape of my life and I was groomed by a sex trafficker. And anyway, so I became very fixated on, is he a narcissist? Is he a psychopath, right? Because I had sent her all the texts that he had ever sent me, right? Texts, pictures, all of his requests and demands that he made of me, all of his blackmailing that he was trying to do with me. And she was like, you are being abused. You need to stop talking to him immediately. And this scared the crap out of him, obviously, right? Because he's like, I don't want her blowing my life up. Well, I didn't understand. What do you mean? How's she going to blow your life up? What are you doing? Because when you're being abused, a lot of times you don't realize you're being abused, right? Until you hear yourself saying it to someone till you hear yourself saying it out loud to someone. I didn't know I was being set up for sex trafficking, for sexual exploitation until I wrote my damn book, right? And not even all of it's in there. Not even the worst of it's in there. And it was after the fact that people were reaching out to me going, you were being set up for sex trafficking. You were being sexually exploited. You had image-based abuse. That's a whole nother episode I'll get into. Anyway, so the second I said to this abuser, right, you're abusive, you're a narcissist, he turned it out on me immediately, right? You're the abuser, you're the narcissist, because you've done this and you've said this. Well, he was referring to all the times I reacted to his abuse. So now I start questioning myself, right? Is it true? Am I an abuser? Am I a narcissist? Maybe it is me. That's what they want you to do because it gets the focus off of their abuse and it gets it onto you so that they confuse you and get you to react in ways you would never react in, and then it explodes. So I'm so proud of this badass woman in my healing group who, because of all the work we've done, all the tools she's learned, all of the healing she's done in this twice a month healing group that we have, I'm so proud of her for recognizing she was actually being set up, that she is actually being abused by a coworker, and that if she reacts and if she responds to this text thread or this email, she's going to look like the crazy person. She's going to look like the crazy one. It's like throwing gasoline on the fire. So that's all I want to say today. Your soul work is to, if you think that you are in an abusive marriage, relationship, right? Maybe you're like me. Maybe your marriage isn't going so good. And you've reached out to some guy who's like promising the world and saying you deserve better and how could this happen to you? But then he slowly and insidiously, remember, abuse is very insidious, right? And people say all the time, well, why are you staying with that abuser? Why doesn't she just leave him, right? Or even this client of mine, like why doesn't she just walk away? Why doesn't she tell on this person? Well, abusers aren't always abusive. Abusers have periods, right? They vacillate between super kind and super cruel, super kind and super cruel. And even in the workplace, you can see that, right? Maybe they're super helpful and then suddenly they're not so helpful and they're stabbing you in the back or sending emails like, happened to this woman. And you don't need to sit there and say, okay, I gotta react. Like, just pause. See what you're feeling in your body. When somebody is talking to you in a certain way or email, bullies, abusers are much braver in emails and texts, right, than they would even be in person. And they want to get you to respond so they can say, look at how crazy she is. So they have it in writing, right? So instead of emotionally reacting, you are going to say, okay, where am I feeling this in my body? What am I feeling in my body when I'm reading this text or this email or when somebody's in person talking to you? Because your body will never lie to you. Your mind will lie to you, but your body will never lie to you. And if you're feeling a lump in your throat or sick to your stomach or your heart is racing or you're shaking, that's a sign that you are not being treated right? Your body is having a visceral reaction. And so you're going to allow yourself to really feel that. Not respond, right? If you're in person, just walk away. Walk away, keep yourself safe. And don't respond when you are emotional like that. Wait until you allow yourself to really feel the feeling, and then you can respond in a neutral way, but never calling them out. Like if that woman says to this coworker, "You're being abusive," she will turn it around. It will be crazy making like you have never experienced before. You will think you're losing your fucking mind. That's what they do, master manipulators. So remember, God does not want you to sin in your anger. God doesn't want you to respond in a way that's going to make you feel bad. That's going to, right? It's much easier for someone to drag you down than for you to rise them up, right? So you're not going to stoop to their level. I would talk a lot when I was a PA president about how high frequency, keep your frequency high. Like don't lower your frequency for anybody, right? What I mean by that is just this, what I'm saying, right? Biblically speaking, don't sin in your anger, because you'll end up looking like the crazy person. Do whatever you have to do to keep yourself safe. Block that person. Don't respond at all, like nothing. Walk away if you have to, until you can get yourself to a place of neutral so that you don't emotionally react, so that you don't look like the crazy one and take the spotlight off the abuse that's actually happening to you. I don't know if you watched my episode on healing abuse with April Mather. She talked about in her 10-year abusive marriage, her husband, when he would abuse her, he would then make her watch Eckhart Tolle, or he would actually send her to therapy. He told her she had an anger problem. This is what he said. Like he knocked her unconscious a couple times, but she was the one with the anger problem. He sent her to therapy to work on her anger problem. He forced her to listen to Eckhart Tolle to deal with her anger problem when she was really reacting to his abuse. So you see how it no longer became about the fact that he's knocking her unconscious. It became more about how she was reacting to it. That's all I'm going to say about that. And no matter what, I sound like Forrest Gump just now. No matter what, okay, no matter what is being said to you, what they're saying to you, what they're doing to you, what they're not saying, what they're not doing to you, what they're telling other people, you remember always, 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 I'm going to keep repeating it until you believe it, that you are worth it.